Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. So, as you probably read by the title, JoshDub has officially responded to Mully, and I am going to check this out. But first, before we get into that, I wanted to go ahead and say something to some of the audience members who just genuinely do not like this drama kind of stuff, and that's fine. I'm not here to convince you to watch this stuff. You don't have to watch this stuff. You can absolutely click on over it and watch something else when I post it. But when something like this happens, it's not a surprise that I tackle it. Especially when it's revolved around content creators I genuinely enjoy watching. Everybody knows I genuinely enjoy watching the boys, so I will get messages saying, "Did you hear what happened? Are you watching what's going on? God, oh my God!" Like Mully and Josh. I get messages like that. I get comments like that all the time. So instead of waiting for people just to start blowing me up, I would much rather tackle it myself, not only because I know they're going to message me about it, but because I am a fan of the boys. Like I was a fan of Corey Shear, and I wanted to check out that Elton Castaigne Corey Shear situation, where it sounded like there might be good enough evidence that one of my favorite content creators, one of my favorite personalities, is not telling the truth about something, and I would like to know what it's about. And I tackled that whole situation. I didn't know it was going to blow up like it did. I didn't know a lot of people were going to click on those videos, but that's what happened. People liked my unbiased, staying in the middle opinion, watching both sides of the spectrum, and just giving my thoughts. And look, I'm a fan of the boys. I want to give my thoughts on this. If you don't like that, you don't have to watch the video. It's okay. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get frustrated. You don't have to watch the video. But to sit there and be so gosh dang surprised that I'm tackling it, because I got so many comments yesterday saying like, oh, you might as well become a drama channel now. I've been tackling drama for like 2 years. There's nothing new about that. I am genuinely confused. Right now, I'm also editing a collaboration with me and Andrew Stonerock, where me and him tackle one of the boys' paranormal investigation videos. It's taken me a while because the audio on the video got fucked up, but that's coming out, and that video is probably going to be like 3-4 hours long. So, yeah, like I'm working on other stuff. It's just this happened right out of nowhere. So, bear with me. Okay, if you don't like it, you guys don't have to watch it. That's okay. But if you do like to watch it and you do like to hear my thoughts and opinions, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I'm going to go ahead and dive into this, give you guys my overall thoughts on JoshDub's response to Mully, which me and Andrew talked about it yesterday. Mully had a response, and we kind of felt that, if they are in a bus like this, it does make sense that you could get aggravated if, like, let's say there are things going back and forth. And, we know how it is with friends, guys. We know how it is with buddies, that people that we have huge admiration for and people we feel comfortable around, where pranks might get pulled and they might go a little bit too far sometimes. And if that's the case, well, we can understand why Mully might have gotten frustrated and it might have went into blows. But Josh has responded. I want to hear what he has to say. He might give us some information that we just didn't hear from Mully. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's see what Josh has to say. All right, so it already sounds like he is just annoyed.
Hey, I just seen Mully's video. First of all, you could have just messaged me instead of airing all of our dirty laundry out in public. That's pretty fucked up.
Uh-oh.
And to the people who now know about this, it is true. Due to the incident on the...
Well, that is true. That is true. Now, there's two ways to look at that. Mully himself could have just felt like, because people are going to notice things on the video, he probably felt like it would be fair to point this out to the audiences before people see the video and are like, what the fuck's going on here? That could have been true. But Josh also makes a pretty reasonable point. It's like, we're friends. Why not just message me and talk to me personally instead of just posting outright that, and pretty much, I wouldn't say trashing, but like pretty much making Josh look like an asshole, because that's kind of what it did. Even if it wasn't Mully's like true intentions, it does make Josh look like an asshole when you're going out there and saying things along the lines of, Josh doesn't know when enough is enough. He takes things too far. Yeah, there needs to be genuine communication. Your audiences, yes, they got you to where you need to be, but if there is a genuine problem, you need to talk. You need to actually be able to talk to each other and accept that there are problems that people are going to have. And, you guys are friends. You should be able to accept those problems and be like, okay, maybe I'll back off of doing that. I'm sorry, man. And we got to have conversations like that. You got to have healthy conversations like that. It can't be just display everything out to the audiences because it's just for views. Me and Andrew talked about that in our video yesterday, where we wanted to give all of our thoughts out there. We wanted people to know that this is how we felt. We'll see. We'll see what he has to continue saying here. I can already tell you though, this is kind of sucky. Because it actually is feeling real. I know people are gonna be like, it's a publicity stunt and stuff. Situations like this, for the most part, tend to very rarely be publicity stunts. And the reason why I thought it could have been was because of how Josh replied or Josh posted the video yesterday. That really didn't tackle what Mully had to say, but actually it was more of just showing how much pranks were going on in that thing. But now that he's actually replied to it from 6 hours ago, it's beginning to feel kind of, yeah, this really did actually happen. This might annoy Josh more. Mully's response online might annoy him more than even the physical fight breaking out.
The trip of terror, shit got a little fucked up, and while I did apologize, things really haven't been the same. In my defense, I don't think I was treating Mully any differently than I was treating anyone else. And no one else had an issue. No one else complained about it or anything like that. I mean, what the fuck? It wasn't a big deal or anything like that. We've done way worse things to each other on camera.
I said this yesterday. I'm like, Mully pulling that tattoo thing on Josh. I mean, if that was me and that was my buddy, like let's say my buddy, one of my best friends of all time, Lane, that might have almost have ruined our friendship right there. Like getting a tattoo of his face on me to where I know that's going to cost loads of money to remove and painful to remove. And more than likely, I'm not even just going to do it. So like that would have pissed me off much more than something like this. So that was shocking to me, and both me and Andrew, when we were actually talking about the situation, was that, they've done a lot worse to each other. So I'm kind of surprised that this was what actually decided to make Mully kind of snap. Different things annoy different people, but yeah, it was just, you guys have been doing this for years. So I get both sides, actually. I get Mully being annoyed, and that's fine. But and he does in videos say leave me the fuck alone. So I get that Mully was telling them, and they might have not just gotten it. I don't know. But at the same time, they kind of all have an understanding of each other where these pranks are pulled, and normally they accept the pranks because it's for the content. But now that Josh realizes that Mully is actually genuinely pissed off about this, because it doesn't sound like Mully probably actually ever tried to talk to Josh privately about the situation, is what it's beginning to sound like, because Josh is kind of making it clear that you could have just messaged me, but that doesn't sound like what it is. It sounds like Mully just decided, you know what, they didn't listen to me on the bus, so fuck them. I'm just going to make a video saying what really happened. And that's what he decided to do. But in reality, if he really was being hurt during this series, and he really was being actually aggravated during the series, and he came into blows, maybe, just maybe, you could have gotten on a phone call with Josh and just said, hey man, I know we do this for content, but the next time we do something along these lines, please, please, please listen to me when I tell you that's enough. It might go a long way if that's how you handle it. You guys are friends. Communication is key. You shouldn't let something like this completely just tamper or ruin something that you guys have built for the past several years now. That would be silly. It would be ridiculous. So I do think Mully definitely probably needs to apologize to Josh. It sounds like Josh has actually apologized to Mully, which is not a surprise either, because Josh does seem like a genuine, sincere guy. And he knows he does it for the content, but he also knows that maybe, we might have taken it a little bit too far sometimes. And he even said, sometimes we do things that get fucked up, and some people have a problem, and some people don't. But at the end of the day, we're all friends, and maybe that's just how he thought this was operating. So, and if this is the kind of content you make, then that's the way you're gonna be. So, yeah.
And bro was usually the most chaotic one in the group, except when I do the same thing to him, suddenly it's not okay. All right. This is what the boys, I thought, were all about, but I guess shit changes. The last thing I expected to see was going on TikTok and seeing shit talked about me with no way of defending myself. But, okay. Regardless, you guys are going to see it all tomorrow anyway, so you can make up your minds for yourselves. And, yeah, I just didn't think it was that big of a deal, personally. I apologized. He said it was good. And then, I'm just getting no replies and whatever, if that's the way.
Fuck, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah, Yeah, Mully probably needs to go ahead and just try to get a hold of Josh. Don't be hiding at home now. Just say how you feel, why you made the video, own up to it. Say, look, yes, I probably should have talked to you privately before making that post. Because again, now Josh has to sit here with people making these allegations. You know, me and Andrew made the video yesterday talking about it, of course, because it was public thanks to Mully. It didn't have to be public. It could have stayed. It could have stayed hidden. It could have stayed quiet behind the scenes. But unfortunately, that's just not how it happened. Unfortunately, Mully did make the video of the post, so people are going to tackle it and people are going to talk about it. They're going to view Josh in a different light now, thinking that Josh is the one who is at the helm of this. But like Josh said, and this again is what we talked about in the video yesterday, Mully is actually the guy who is mostly known for pushing it on a lot of people. So to see him, of all people, making a complaint was odd, to say the least. So I have no doubt that we're going to see shit tomorrow on the video. And if Mully is actually, in fact, the one who is instigating most of it, it's going to look bad on Mully. And again, because they are that kind of channel, they are the ones that like to pull pranks on each other, you don't really sit there and give them too much shit for this kind of stuff because this is what they're normally doing. So the fact that somebody actually had a legitimate complaint about too many pranks being pulled and it just got aggravating is odd, especially from the guy who is known for pulling a lot of the pranks. So it's just a weird situation of all people in this group. I don't know. And you got people who are saying this is going to be a promo. You got people who are saying this is a publicity stunt. The fact that he actually replied to it is kind of what concerns me the most, like in this kind of way. If it was like he posted the video yesterday and that was it, that would have made like me think, yeah, it's a publicity stunt, no doubt. But the fact that Josh is actually like posting what comes off to me like a very genuine, sincere post, like, and if Josh is absolutely telling the truth here, which Josh doesn't seem like the guy who would just lie to lie, especially when it comes to his reputation, then there could be a chance that this is real and he genuinely wants people to know that, you know, Mully is just as guilty as all of us are when it comes to pulling this kind of shit.
The way he wants to be, then fine.
This does remind me a lot of the Corey Shear, Elton Castee stuff, where a lack of communication. Yeah, where it's like you could have saved a lot of time, you could have saved a lot of shit if you had just privately messaged Josh and told him sincerely. And maybe there is a private message, who knows? But by the sounds of it, Josh does not. And again, why would he say this if there wasn't any actual legitimate, you know, if there was legitimate evidence, why would he be saying, you know, you could have messaged me, right, of this message? Because all I'm only able to do is just screenshot it and post it saying, I did message you, bro. Private message him, private call him, drive over to his house, talk to him saying, hey, man, next time we do this, please, let's tone it down a little bit. Okay, man, no problem. I'll let the guys know. That literally could have been how it could have been solved, but sometimes people take the route that they feel they need to tell their audiences things that happen behind the scenes, and this is unfortunately how friendships are ruined. It's because of these kind of responses and these kind of actions online that ruin friendships between content creators. You need to always feel like you can talk to somebody. You always got to feel like you can be able to talk to this person without him not accepting what you're saying. I don't really want to believe that Mully and Josh are going to not be friends now. And by the way, forgive me, I just woke up. That's why I look so shady right now. I don't want to sit here and I don't want to sit here and think the worst case scenario, like these guys are not going to be friends anymore, and this is literally the beginning of what could be the end of the friendship between Mully and Josh. That could be an over-exaggeration by far. So they really do need to find a way to communicate and talk to each other, not sit there for several months not talking, and then post a video like this. You actually need to go ahead and try to message him privately and actually try to talk to him and try to make this work, unless you are truly aiming for it just to be over, and so you can do your own things. So if you're curious, I'm kind of leaning more towards Josh right now on who pretty much is in the right here. It should have stayed private. If you genuinely had an issue, if you genuinely wanted to talk to Josh and talk to him about something specific like this, you should have private messages. He already said he talked to Eddie and all of them privately about this situation, but why then not talk to Josh about it privately? Because that was something he said in his previous video, Mully's video, was that he had already messaged the rest of the boys about it. Okay, so why not message Josh about this? It's not like narrator Eddie and all them were not pulling pranks on you too. So why not message Josh? There must be more of a reason behind that, right? So Yeah, I am leaning more towards Josh's side, where Mully should have really actually kept it private and talked to Josh too, and then that would never have happened. But that's not what he decided to do. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next one. Please do take care.
Reactions are nothing new. However, there is one man on a mission who wants to prove the world a fakery. He used to follow all these paranormal shows. Now he's had enough. He is done. Dark thoughts is throwing down. Coming after all his paranormal crowds. He is watching, not letting them get away. All these fakers, they're gonna have to pay. Chicken Talks is throwing down.